welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 12 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. And today I'm going to be looking at John Kennedy Magic. John Kennedy Magic have been around for many, many years. John Kennedy is an incredible creator of magic. And a lot of his stuff is available only directly through his website, johnkennedymagic.com. So a lot of people that are new into magic don't see a lot of his stuff. He occasionally puts things in Murphy's and therefore it'll make its way onto dealer stands. For example, Mojo 2.0, which Ryland performed recently on the review show, on the main review show on Magic TV. But a lot of his stuff has been kind of lost in time. And unless you're older like me, you might not be aware of some of his stuff. And that's the problem with magic. When you're new into magic or you've been here for a few years, you might not realize some of the amazing routines that have come out in the past. So today I want to be looking at some of John Kennedy's items, some of John Kennedy's products that I personally think are really good. Hopefully, if you guys like any of these, it might inspire you to get them. And guys, I'm telling you right now, some of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you is like a million times better than a lot of the stuff that's coming out right now. In fact, I'm going to start this review show off with my absolute favorite coin routine you will ever have seen. Like, I love performing this. I do it all the time. Let's have a look at that first review right now. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be looking at is Flight Deck by John Kennedy Magic. Flight Deck, cover any glass with a deck of cards and then make coins vanish and reappear like magic inside the glass. And that's exactly what we have here. Now, this is a gimmick that's built into a deck of cards. This is the gimmick that I'm holding right here. And this gimmick will allow you to do so much incredible, and I mean incredible magic. It's a little bit like the Power Pack by Bob Swaddling, which isn't available anymore, but it's also very, very different. Basically, what it allows you to do is take a coin, have a coin disappear, and have it appear inside a glass. But the beautiful thing is you cover up the glass with the deck of cards. So the deck of cards is covered up with the glass. The deck of cards covers up the glass, and then you take the coin and you can have it penetrate down into the glass. Now, there's a 15-minute download that comes along with this, with John talking about a whole bunch of different routines. The main routine is a one-coin routine. So, and it's like a 4-phase routine where you've got a glass and you can borrow the glass, and you have a pack of cards, and you take the coin and you have it go through the glass in 4 different ways, each way more impressive than the last. I'm going to perform my handling of that, so I'm going to perform that for you right now, just so you can get a frame of reference of what you can actually achieve with the Flight Deck. So let's have a look at that performance right now. Sarah, I've got a pack of cards, I have an American $half, and I have a glass. Before we started filming, you examined all of this. Are you happy?
Yes.
Now, the idea is really simple. I'm going to take the coin and I'm going to try and make it go inside the glass. Now, watch. If I just do this and I hit the bottom of the glass, the solid bottom of the glass against the coin, I can have it go right there inside the coin. Now, is that a pretty good trick?
Yeah.
It's a pretty good trick, but the problem is maybe you think I snuck it over the top, which I didn't, but I can understand how you thought that maybe I would have. So I'm going to put the pack of cards there, and it means that when I push, I can push it right through the pack of cards, even though the cards were stopping me getting inside the glass. Was that pretty good?
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it one last time for you. One final time. This time, I'm not even going to go anywhere near. I'm just going to pass the coin over the glass. And as I do, the coin goes inside the glass one more time. So that is a performance of the main routine that comes with the Flight Deck. And that is such a well-constructed routine because, first of all, you've got the coin going into the glass, which is a classic of sleight of hand coin magic. But then you've got that moment where you cover up the glass and you just have the coin and you push it through and you see it and hear it come through the other side. And then you've got that moment where you just wave your hand over, and even though you're just going nowhere near, it still drops in. That visual is beautiful. Now, a few weeks ago, it was probably a few months ago now, we reviewed CTG, Coins to Glass by Peter Eggink. And I made a point in that, in the review of that product, which I absolutely hated. I made a point in the review of that product that I really didn't like it, and there's much better ways of accomplishing it. And one example is Flight Deck. And a lot of people saying, what is Flight Deck? And this is Flight Deck. Because the problem with The problem with CTG is that you put the coin, you put the glass here, and then it pops in, but it's not the same coin. You can't examine it. You can't. It's not an instant reset. It's plagued with so many problems. Go back and look at the review. With this, it's a deck of cards. It's instantly reset. It's good to go. Because what happens here, right, is this is a very specially constructed gimmick. And what happens here is you can have a coin in here. You're obviously, this is a special coin that comes with the flight deck, but you can have, you do get the stuff inside here that allows you to take any coin from any nationality and turn it into a flight coin. This is called a flight coin. But what this allows you to do, right? What this allows you to do basically is you can take the coin, you can make it disappear. Now, when I turn the card case over, there's a 7-second timer. And at the end of the 7 seconds, it'll just drop automatically. And now it's reset, ready to go again. So I could just, for example, vanish a coin. Or if I don't want to do sleight of hand, I could just do this. Put this on top of the glass. And I know 7 seconds later, that coin is going to drop. And then when I turn it back over, it's reset. I put the coin back inside the box, because that's what I tend to do. When I do this, it looks like a deck of cards. So I just take this out, I take the coin out, I say I keep a coin inside my deck, let me show you something with it. I do the routine, and when I put it into the box, I'm reset, ready to go again. So it's so super practical. And by the way, this whole thing, when you turn it vertical like this, it switches itself off. So it's now off, it's in the off position. When I want to do it, I bring it out. And now, when I need it to, without pressing any buttons or without doing anything, just in the action of turning it over, it's ready. And if you want longer than a 7-second timer, I can literally lift it up vertical like that. And when I do, it stops the timer. And then when I put it back down again, it continues with the timer. And I've been using this for years. I absolutely love this as a gimmick. I think it's brilliant. And I use it in so many different ways. I'm going to share one more routine with you, which I put on my Instagram channel a little while ago. And I had a lot of people commenting on it, including Henry Harrius, which is a 3 coins across. Now, this particular 3 coins across uses the one ahead principle along with the flight deck. The nice thing about this is the coins that I'm using are regular coins. And what I will do is I will do the routine I'm about to show you after a regular coin to glass. So what I'll typically do is have 3 coins examined. I'll do a coins across, a normal coins across. Then I'll do a coins across into a glass, so they see the coins going into the glass one at a time, all 3 of them. And then I'll follow up with the routine that I'm about to show you now, because it gives me a reason to bring the deck of cards out. Because now, and it builds, so it's like the first phase, boom, the coins jump across. Well, let's see if we can use a glass so you know the moment it happens. Because the problem is, when I was using the glass, my hand was near the glass. I tell you what, let me take this deck of cards and cover up the glass. Now I can't go anywhere near the glass, and still it happens. So this I'm about to share with you now is the final phase of a longer 3-phase act, if that kind of makes sense, that can be done anytime, anywhere. That's what's beautiful about this. Let me just share that with you right now. Sarah, I've got 3 coins this time. 3 coins and a pack of cards and a glass. Now the cards go over there, stopping me from getting to the glass. Watch the 3 coins. If I just squeeze, did you see what happened? One of the coins jumped from my hand to inside the glass. Pretty good, right? Now, well, I'm going to do it again for you. I'm going to put the coin that's gone already there. That leaves us with 2 coins to go. That's 1. That's 2. Listen for the clink. Not that clink over there. That's the second one right there inside the glass. That's coin number 2. Because all good things come in 3s, so we're going to try and do the last one. Are you ready? You know what's going to happen. 1, 2 coins go inside the glass. This one goes on. Watch the final coin. It goes nowhere near, and yet 3, 2, 1. That's the last coin gone from the hand inside the glass, and that is the trick. So how good is that? I mean, I absolutely love performing that. I really do. The only thing you need to consider is you need a table. I have played in the past with having somebody hold a glass and having somebody hold the deck, and it doesn't really work as well as I wanted it to. It's best to put it on a table, but any table. You don't need a table service. This is great if you're doing walk around and you've got those little bar tables nearby, or you've got a bar somewhere near. It's great if you're doing sort of banquets or you're doing table hopping. You can even borrow the glass. So if there's a glass on the table, like a wine glass, you can say, hey, let me that wine glass. I'm just going to put this deck of cards on here. Let me show you something with this deck of cards. Creative people will come up with so many different uses for this. The nice thing about it is, as I say, there's no reset, which allows you to do multi-phase routines like I just showed you. Because as soon as that coin drops, well, I just take the cards now. Now I'm set to do again and again and again. This is getting 100% from me. I love the flight deck. If you are a coin worker, it's not the cheapest item on John Kennedy's website, but if you're a coin worker and you want something that absolutely kills, the flight deck is the way to go. I'm giving the flight deck 100%. It is absolutely highly recommended. Okay, so the next item on John Kennedy's website that I want to draw your attention to is the mid-air card stab. Stab a card in mid-air with a pocket knife. The mid-air card stab, and that's exactly what happens in this routine. You have a deck of cards, you have a card picked, it's lost into the middle of the deck. You then can cut it and shuffle it and do whatever you want with it. And then at some point, you take half the deck, you take a penknife, you open up the penknife, you spring the cards onto the table, or you dribble them onto the table, and as you do, you come forward with the knife and you stab the card. It is incredible. It really is. Let me do a performance of it first of all, and I'll talk about the pros and the cons. With this, there are a few cons, so we're going to cover everything. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to show you a trick with a pack of cards, and this is a dangerous card trick. Are you ready to see a dangerous card trick?
Dangerous?
Oh, no, seriously, honestly, this is...
It can't be as bad as when you had that needle thing.
No, it's not as bad as that. That wasn't a card trick, though, but no. This is a dangerous card trick, though. Can you do me a favour? Just grab a card. Any card that you want to. Very good. And if you could show the camera, that would be amazing, just so the camera knows what the card is. Are we done? We good?
Yeah.
Pass me that. I'd normally get you to sign it, but the pen's over there. So are you okay with it not being signed? Very good. So somewhere in here is your card. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Now, I said this is going to be a dangerous card trick, and it is going to be a dangerous card trick because I'm going to be using a knife.
Right.
A deadly pen knife to find your card. Are you excited? Do you feel like the danger is here?
Only really because it's you, not so much that there's a pen knife.
It's funny because it's true. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try... That wasn't your card, was it?
No.
I'm hoping it's in this half of the pack. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and flick through these cards, and as they're flying through the air, I'm going to try and stab it with the pen knife. Are you ready?
Okay.
3, 2... By the way, I should point out, don't try this at home. 3, 2, 1. One card and one card only, Sarah. I stabbed the 10 of hearts right there with the penknife. Was that your card?
Yes, it was.
I'm a miracle worker. I didn't even stab myself.
Oh, that's the most impressive thing.
Okay, so that's the mid-air card stab. Now, let me talk about the pros for this first of all. It's not actually that messy. Normally, when you see a card stab routine, what happens is you're springing the cards up in the air and the cards all end up all over the floor, and that deck is absolutely wrecked, so it's brilliant for a one-off performance if you're on stage, but it's not really something that you can do close-up. The thing with this is you're just dropping the cards. You're kind of like doing that Svengali deck style drop, but onto this area. So you come forward, and it's very easy to just square these up and put them away. So it does become more practical. There's not really any angle considerations to take into consideration. It's pretty much angle proof. I remember the first time I saw this and I read it and I was like, that's never going to work. That's too ballsy. That's never going to work. But the misdirection on this is so strong because you're over here and you're saying, look, I'm at your card's going to be somewhere in this half of the deck. I'm going to come forward. I'm going to do this. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Nobody sees. It's such an impressive moment. It really is. And the card really does get stabbed onto the penknife. You can take it off. They can take it off if you want to. It's not like a fake thing. John Bannon had a version of this which did not use the gimmick deck in, I think it was Impossibility or Smoke and Mirrors, but I prefer the original version, I really do. Yeah, I mean, you do have to carry a gimmick deck around with you. That's something that you need to bear in mind. The knife is a regular knife that can be examined, so at the end of the routine, you can have the knife examined. It's fairly easy to do. It's not very difficult. The gaff deck does all the work for you, but there is a moment where it's kind of like you have to be very confident with this, with kind of audience management or misdirection, because there is a moment where you're kind of preparing for this. And as I say, when I first got this, I was like, there's no way this is going to work. But through lots of performances, it's great. I think the best place for this is in a parlour show. Because in a parlour show where people are kind of gathered around you and you kind of, people are there and you kind of hear and you go, boom, I think it's perfect for a parlour show. I did do this for many, many years in restaurants. And it worked really well for restaurants. Obviously, you have to consider that you're using a knife. So if you're in a family restaurant, bear that in mind. Although it's not like a big, dangerous looking knife. It's a tiny little pen knife, but it's still something you want to bear in mind. And the reactions to this are so strong. When you stab that card with the knife and they can see it on there and you take it off and you give it to them, it's an incredibly strong moment, it really is. And although I say using a gimmick deck, only half the deck is gimmick. So if you wanted to, you could do a whole bunch of other routines with half the deck. So you could say, let me cut the deck into half, let me do something with this. You might have the aces in there, you might take the aces out and do like a twisting the aces, or a last trick of Doc Daly or something. Maybe you do something with a half a deck. You could probably engineer an ambitious card using half a deck and a gimmick deck. Then when you want to go into this, you've got the gimmick set up ready to go because half the deck is gimmicked. It's not going to be something that you do all the time. Walk around people, do not apply. But right time, right place, this absolutely kills. And I still say this is the strongest way to do this card stab close up. I'm going to give this 90%. I think it's really good. It's a very easy method and it gets great reactions. So 90% for the mid-air card stab. Okay, so the next review, we are going to be looking at probably the thing that John Kennedy is most well known for, which is the Mind Power deck. Now, when this came out, this was a game changer. Read people's minds and reveal thought of cards with amazing accuracy. I've seen so many people use this principle since John Kennedy brought it out. I've seen so many people use this principle in so many different ways. Matthew Wright used this principle in one of his very early DVDs with some Listerine packs, if I remember. Derren Brown has used this on TV. I think he called the routine Smoke. So many people use this, but it's still the best version of this out there. Sarah had never seen this before, and you're about to see a performance with Sarah. And when I performed this for Sarah, she said afterwards, I'm completely blown away. I have no idea how this works. Now, when I first bought the Mind Power deck, it did not come on bicycle cards. This comes on bicycle cards. The quality is absolutely amazing. It really is. The quality is fantastic. Let's look at the performance that I did on Sarah. So let's have a look at the performance. What you're about to see is exactly what they see. It's such a strong bit. So let's have a look at the performance and then we'll talk about the pros and the cons. Okay, Sarah, I have a pack of cards.
Yep. And
I need you to help me. I want you to have a good look at these cards. Just make sure they are all there and they're all different. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
Good. Here's what I'm going to do. When I snap my fingers, I'm going to spread the deck out like that. And I want you to look over the spread and I want you to think of one of the cards that you can see. It's important that you look at one of the cards and get it into your mind because then you can visualize it, okay? So I'm just going to spread through the cards. Anyone at all? You got one?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now let me ask you a question here. You didn't think of a joker, did you?
No.
Good, okay. 1 down, 53 to go. You don't look very impressed. Okay, I'm going to try and read your mind and tell you what the card is. So concentrate on the card. Concentrate on the colour of the card. Can you do that for me? It's a red card, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just a mind reader, I really am. Now concentrate on the value of the card, whether it's a high card or a low card. And by low, I mean sort of 7 or less. I think we'll count ace as a low card as well. Let me just think. It's actually a high card, isn't it?
No.
It's not. I'm sorry. I was getting a real impression of a high card. It's a low. So it's less than a 7. Okay, let's go back to the value. Obviously, let's go back to the suit. Right. Okay, I know it's a red card. Concentrate on whether it's a heart or a diamond. It's a heart, isn't it? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah,
that's what I thought. In fact, the reason I made a mistake is it looks a bit like a high card because I saw in my head an 8, but it's not an 8, but it's very similar to an 8. It's an 8 with just a little bit of the 8 missing. It's a 3. You're thinking of the 3 of hearts. Is that right?
Oh, okay.
From this pack of 52 cards, you could have thought of any card and you thought of the 3 of hearts. So that's the performance of that. It's a really strong trick. That's the way as it's written up in the instructions that you get with this. But as I said to you before, there's so many different ways that you can actually do this. Now, you saw me do it, and you saw me spread the cards out on the table and say to Sarah, look at all the cards, they're all different. You can do this, if you want to, just by spreading the cards out in between your hands. So you don't need a table. You could just say to people, hey, have a look at these cards, have a look at these cards. Can you have a look at one for me? That's brilliant. Now, if you want to do the way I did it, which is the classic way of doing it, I do want to point out that obviously there's a little bit of very simple fishing involved in that particular routine, because what the Mind Power deck does is, even though they can see that all the cards are different, when they look at the spread and they think of a card, it limits their choices to, I think, 6 or 8 cards. It limits their choices, even though it doesn't feel like they're limited at all. Just by saying, hey, think of a card, you've limited their choices. Now, what's really nice about this is the joker that you have on the front of the pack is your cue for the questions that you need to ask. So obviously you saw in the performance, I'm now asking Sarah certain questions. In case you forget what those questions are, you've got everything written down in front of you on the joker. So you can just hold the deck in your hand and you can glance down and look at the spectator, and you've got everything that you need, which is really clever, and it just shows how well thought out this is. Now, one thing that I've done with this, I use this in a parlour situation. And what I do is, how I do it in parlour is, if I've got like 6 people around me, right? And it doesn't have to be parlour, it could be like on a banquet table, for example, or something like that. But when I've got a whole bunch of people around me, what I'll do is I'll do this to everybody. So what I'll do is I'll say, look, I want everybody, you can see that all the cards are there, you can see all the cards are different. Is that fair? Yeah. Can you do me a favour? Can you think of one of these cards? Yes. Can everyone think of one of the cards? Have a look at the cards and think of one. And then what I do is I do kind of an impromptu, not impromptu because I'm using this, but I use it's a close-up tossed out deck. So now everyone's thinking of a card, and I just start naming cards, and I say, look, I get them to stand up, Tom Wright style, and I say, look, everyone's thinking of a card. If I got your card, please sit down. And everyone sits down. And it's a really nice way to do it, to kind of a big crowd. If you've got a crowd of, say, 20 or 30 people, get 6 people to come up to the front from different parts of the audience and just have them all think of a card in the deck. Then get them to go back to where they were. They're all standing up, and you go, right, okay. And it's a really cool way of doing a tossed out deck style presentation, about having them just think of a card from a spread. So that's one way that you can do it. But you know what? There's so many different ways that this is used in so many different routines. It's a beautiful different, because ultimately, like I said, you're limiting their choices. So you can have multiple outs set up, or you can have different revelations set up depending on the card they think of. So they're thinking of a card, you will immediately know what that card is just by asking a couple of questions, and then you can reveal it in the way that you think is most appropriate. But they feel like they've had a free choice. It's a little bit like gossip, my routine gossip in that respect, in that with gossip, somebody feels like they have a free choice of celebrity, and you're able to reveal it by limiting their choices. This is the same sort of thing. They feel like they've got a free choice of card, and you can reveal it in various different ways by limiting their choices. So it's great. If you've not picked up a Mind Power deck, the original is still the best in my opinion. It is really well made out of bicycle playing cards. You get printed instructions as a PDF, but that's all you need. Once you understand how it works, you'll be doing it within seconds, and it's very, very easy. You don't even need to memorize anything, because the joker cues everything that you need to know. It's a very commercial routine, no table required, walk around, instant resets. It doesn't even feel like anything. People say to me sometimes, oh, can it be examined? Well, no, if they had a look through the deck, they probably wouldn't examine it. But with the routining, they don't examine the deck, because you show them the cards, they are all different, they think of one, you then put the deck away, or you can, you hold the deck here, and before you reveal the card, you put the deck away. Or if you memorize the stuff that's on the joker, you put the deck away and just go through the sequence that you just saw me go through with Sarah. So it's really good. I'm giving it 98%. It's highly recommended. If you want a really cool, thought of reveal of a playing card that requires no skill at all, this is the way to go with it. Very good, highly recommended. Okay, so review number 4, we're going to be looking at Impossible Matrix now by John Kennedy, and that is a mind-blowing coin assembly. You know what? I did this for years and years and years. In fact, I spoke about this recently on a recent 5x5. If you haven't seen that, you can go check it out on the 5x5 playlist. But I spoke about this recently on a 5x5. I absolutely love this. I did this for so long. I'll be honest with you. I'll be open with you. I don't do this now. And the reason I don't do it now is I've got so many different other ways of doing matrix that I don't need to do this. But this is so clean. This is really, really clean. This is a way of doing matrix with 3 coins in the example I'm about to show you, but you could use more coins, you could use less coins. And it's a way of doing matrix in a very clean way because your hands are shown empty, you show the cards, you deal the cards down on the table, and well, you'll see it in a second, but everything is so clean and your hands are shown empty the entire time. And it's very easy to do. You don't even have to palm a coin. There is no palming. Normally I say to people with regards to coin magic, I say the reason coin magic's, a lot of people don't do it is because it's difficult. Because even with a gimmicked coin trick, you have to palm the coin and switch it in and switch it out. Well, this is the exception to the rule because this is incredibly easy. If you can show a coin card, you can do the trick. Let me perform it for you right now, and then we'll talk about what I think. Okay, so I have 2 playing cards. I have a 10 of diamonds and a 5 of diamonds, and I also have 1, 2, 3 American half dollars. Is that fair? Yeah? Mm-hmm. I want you to watch really carefully. Don't blink. 3 coins, 2 cards. Now, the idea is really simple. I'm going to pop one of those cards over there. And then underneath this card, I'm going to put the other 3 coins. And the idea is to make the coins jump from one place to another by magic. All I have to do is snap my fingers over here, and it's done. That's when the first coin disappears from here, leaving 2, and the first coin jumps over there, which is pretty cool. Now, you might not have known what was going to happen. After all, most people don't, so I'll do it again. We've got 1 coin over there. And then over here, we've got the other 2 coins. Now, you know what's going to happen this time? You know I'm going to make the next coin go across. It happens when I snap my fingers. That is coin number 2 gone. And over here, I now have 2 coins. So what's happening is the coins are jumping across one by one. So we're going to do this one last time. Watch. 1 coin left to go. 2 coins over there, 1 coin left to go. It happens when I snap. That's the snap. That's when the final coin disappears, travels over here, and that is John Kennedy's Impossible Matrix. So that's Impossible Matrix. I absolutely love this. Things to consider. First of all, they are gimmicked cards, or there is 1 gimmicked card and 1 regular card. And the gimmicked card is very gimmicked. You can't have it examined. Also, one long side of the card is completely gimmick to the point that if the spectator saw that side of the card, they'd realise how the trick works. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that when you're performing, you're aware of your angles, and you need to make sure that side of the card is pointing towards you at all times, which means that you have to be careful with people standing behind you or to the side of you because they will kind of see what's going on. So angle considerations is something that you need to be aware of. Also be aware of the fact that you do need a soft table surface. So you need a close-up pad, or if you're doing it on a carpet or something, or a bar mat in a bar, that's fine. I used to do this in restaurants all the time, and I used to do it at the bar. They had these bar cloths on them, long bar cloths, and this was absolutely perfect because you're not sliding coins around, you're not doing a Dingle Schneider pickup or anything like that. So as long as it's a soft surface, it's good to go. It's just a really nice, if you are new to coin magic or you don't do any coin magic and you want to start doing some coin magic, this is a great thing to pick up because it allows you to do coin magic very, very easily without any skill at all. And once you realise the reaction you get from coin magic, that'll open up an entire rabbit warren that you can fall down and you can start doing more tricks and more tricks and more tricks. So yeah, it is what it says on the tin. It is the Impossible Matrix. It's really good. It's also one of those John Kennedy routines that are kind of overlooked by a lot of people for various different reasons. But I love this, and even though I don't perform it anymore, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It doesn't mean I can't recommend it. I'm going to give it 85%. I did it long enough that I think it deserves to get over 80%. If you're a sleight of hand master, then you might not want to go for this. But you know, right time, right place, this absolutely kills. And the other thing is, once you understand the principle that's work with this gimmick card, it allows you to go in lots of different directions. So you can kind of do lots of other things as well. So you could have, for example, 2 cards and you lay them down on the table and you have coins disappearing and going underneath the cards. You can combine some basic sleight of hand with this, and you can kind of create your own routines with it as well, which is what I did back in the day. So yeah, highly recommended, 85%. It's another good routine by Mr. John Kennedy. Okay, so the final routine I want to perform for you and review for you is the amazing shrinking deck by John Kennedy. First the card box shrinks, then the cards shrink, and then grow back like magic. Now, I actually talked about this on I did a video on openers, the 7 best openers for your close-up act, and I said that this is one of the best openers that you can have as a close-up performer, and it really is. Now, I need you to understand that there's 2 parts to this trick. The first part is the card case shrinking, and the second part is the deck shrinking. I think that the card case shrinking is way better. Now, I'm pretty sure that that's not John Kennedy's creation. I'm pretty sure it's a John Cornelius idea. I might be wrong. You let me know in the comments down below. But you can't. This is the only place you can get a shrinking deck anymore, a shrinking card case. The only way you can get it is as part of this project. The actual card routine is not as good as the shrinking card case. Look, let me perform the routine for you first of all, so you've got a frame of reference, and then I'll explain to you what I mean about the quality of the box versus the trick. Let's have a look at that performance right now. Right, okay. Hey Sarah, I'm going to show you something weird. Do you see the box?
I do.
And do you see the cards inside the box?
Yes.
Wonderful. What I don't understand is how those cards came out of a box that size. I mean, look at the size of the box. Look at the size of the cards. That is weird, right?
It is.
But it's an illusion. You see, if I snap again, what you can see is that every single card is tiny. We have a tiny deck of playing cards. Every single card is tiny. That one there, for example, is the Queen of Hearts, every single one. But if I just do this, just like that, I'm back to normal. Now the cards are back to normal. Obviously, we've got a bit of a problem because every card is back to normal, except for the Queen of Hearts. Like the 8 is back to normal. They're all back to normal, except for the Queen of Hearts. But I can fix this. Watch, if I just wave my hand over the Queen, now the Queen is back to normal. It's just the box. Okay, so that's the routine. Now, the actual shrinking deck part, I think, is based on a Brother John Hammond routine. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. You spread the deck on the table, all the deck shrinks. You can take one of the small cards and show it. Then it grows, and then, you know, you make that grow as well. You just saw the performance. The issue with that particular routine is that you need a table. You need a table with a soft surface. And I think that when the deck shrinks, it's not as deceptive as, for me, the ultimate shrinking deck that's done close up, which is Diminishing Returns by Mike Powers. For me, Diminishing Returns by Mike Powers is 1,000,000 times better as a shrinking deck routine than this. And I actually use Diminishing Returns in my parlor show, and I use it as an opener, and it kills because you can see that the cards have shrunk. You can see every single card has shrunk, and you've got this beautiful moment that when you take the card out, it grows again. Like, there's so many wonderful moments in the Mike Powers routine, Diminishing Returns. In fact, I'm actually doing a review show special on Mike Powers at some point, and that will absolutely be included in there. So if you're looking for a shrinking deck, I wouldn't recommend this. It's okay at best, but the card case that you get with this is incredible. And that's why I love this routine. I love this routine because this card case is so well made. And as an opener, forget about the shrinking deck thing, because the shrinking deck thing, even the Diminishing Returns by Mike Powers, when you do that, even that routine, you have to have a soft surface, you have to have a deck of cards. There's a lot of limitations, which is why I typically only perform in a parlor situation or a virtual show situation, whilst the shrinking card case is just an incredible opening routine. I've talked about this on my my video about openers, but an opening routine should be quick, it should be visual, it should grab people's attention and show people that you're not just Uncle Bob that knows the 21 card trick. Well, you bring out a deck of cards from your pocket and you go, hey, my name's Craig, I'm the magician, let me show you a card trick. Of course, can you explain something to me? How do you get a deck of cards this size in a box this size? And then you just put that card box away. My gosh, what a killer moment. Immediately, you have established credibility with something really quick, really visual that they probably haven't seen before. So this is going to get a high mark because I highly recommend the shrinking card case that's in here. I wouldn't bother with the shrinking deck. If you're going to do the shrinking deck, get Diminishing Returns by Mike Powers. Wait for my review show special on Mike Powers and the Mull of Magic, and I'll perform it for you. It is incredible. This is okay. I'm not going to take it away from John. It's not terrible. It does what it says on the tin, but it's nowhere near as good as Diminishing Returns. If I was just going to rate it as a product overall, I would give it probably 65%. But if you're looking for a strong opener, if this was just the shrinking card case, because this is really reasonably priced, if this was just the shrinking card case, I would probably give this like 95% and say it's absolutely brilliant. So, because the shrinking card case is. So take from that what you will. I'm going to give it 65%, but if you are looking for a killer opener and you understand that the shrinking deck isn't that practical, and if you are in a situation where you can do it, there's better versions. If you understand that, great. I wouldn't buy this for the shrinking deck, but I would absolutely 100% buy it for the shrinking box. So for the shrinking box, I'm going to give it 95%. If you're looking for a killer opener in your show, this is an opener that you want to consider. So there you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag, a review show special all about John Kennedy magic. You can see he's got some great stuff. If I had to pick my favorite out of the lot that I just showed you, it would be the flight deck. That's something that I've done for a very, very, very long time, and there's so many different routines that you can do with that. Do me a favor, let me know in the comments down below what you think. I would love to know your thoughts. If you want me to do a review show special on a particular company or a particular creator or a particular product, let me know. I'm going to be back again tomorrow, Monday, with 3 videos. At 2 o'clock, we're going to have a shorts. At 6 o'clock, we're going to have a Magic Live. And at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a 5x5. So I'll see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. And don't forget, if you want to buy any of these, go directly to johnkennedymagic.com. The link is in the description. I'm going to be back again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.